I found out that I had a lump in July of 2014 and I went for a biopsy. And before my diagnosis, I had applied to go to Manchester Metropolitan University, and I had been given an interview date, which was the 11th of August at 6 o'clock in Manchester, obviously. And coincidentally, on that same day, it was the day of the results of my biopsy that I'd had 10 days before. So in my head, over the coming 10 days, I had convinced myself that I actually didn't have cancer. So it never occurred to me to cancel my interview with Manchester Metropolitan University. So I just thought, I'm going to go at 3 o'clock to Leighton Hospital in Crewe, pick up my results from my biopsy, and then at 6 o'clock, I was going to go to Manchester University for my interview. But when I got to Leighton Hospital, I was then told that I had cancer. And that was a big shock for me because I don't think mentally I had prepared myself for the fact that I could possibly have cancer. So I was really shaken. And for a minute, I sat there and the doctor started to go through, the treatment plan and stuff. And I just decided, you know what? Today is not the day that I'm going to deal with cancer. So I literally stood there and I said, I am not going to talk about cancer today. I've got an appointment that I need to go to. And the doctor said, where are you going to go? And I said, I've got an appointment. I've got an interview in Manchester Metropolitan University. And she said to me, you're not even supposed to be driving yourself. And I said, I am. I'm going to leave. I'll come back another day and we'll talk about cancer. But today, I'm going to Manchester. So I left the hospital. I drove myself to Manchester Metropolitan University and I did my interview. And I remember sitting there doing this interview and it was going really well. And part of me actually started to forget what had happened earlier in the day until the final question during the interview, which is a random question. It was a generic question that they were asking everybody who was having the interview. They did say to me, is there anything that you know that may interfere with your study at the college? And it was that moment that I kind of stumbled and the lady kind of noticed that I was sort of like hesitating. And she said to me, why did you hesitate? And I said, well, I might be shooting myself in the foot right now, but I need to tell you that I was diagnosed with cancer. And she said, when you say I was diagnosed with cancer, when? And I said, about 3 hours ago. And then she said, and you still came. Why did you come? And I said, well, and thinking back, up until that moment, I actually didn't know why I'd done it. And it was only when I was replying to her that I realized, I said to her, cancer is just going to be a chapter in my life. It's never going to define who I am. But this moment right here is going to define the person that I'm going to be. I've wanted to do this for such a long time, and I'm never going to let a thing like cancer stop me. So I would like to keep on following my dream, and I would like to carry on studying if you'd let me. And the most amazing thing happened. I thought they were going to stop me from studying. 3 days later, I received an email saying, we thought you could use some good news. We've just decided to offer you a place at the college. Unfortunately for me, once I started treatment, I couldn't get on with my course. I had to drop off my course. But what that did for me as a person, it actually showed me what I was capable of. And it actually showed me that, your circumstances don't have to define you. You can always, always decide to have a choice in life. And I did that day. And for me, the 11th of August 2014 will always be the day that I became a woman.